Welcome to another episode of Pels in the Blender with your boy Davis. Coming to y'all on this Christmas Eve morning. Today, Wednesday. This Wednesday morning. Getting ready for the holidays, man. Everybody been busy with everything going on in the year. Appreciate everybody that's been tapping in, man. The Pelicans had a really good stretch recently going on. They just won the 5 games in a row. Last episode I did shout out to my dog Chaz was on. We did the damn near 3 hour long, trade idea and some of the things going on. But that was going into the Rockets game. They had you know what I mean? They had whoa, what's good, bro? Appreciate y'all tapping in. They they was going into the Rockets game, and I won't lie, like there was whoa, what's good, bro? Appreciate you. There was no expectation. I had zero expectation for them to win the Rockets game, right? But they got down, came back, won the Rockets game. And they had a lot of talk about that one because it was the Z off the bench and then the closing lineups and all of that. Whatever, they found a way to win that game. Then you come back against Dallas, right? Whatever it is, Z had a good game that game, but a lot of people played well. You find a way to win that game. And then you on a winning streak. You got some things rolling. You don't want 5 in a row, and then they go on the road to Cleveland on a back to back, and you lose. So like realistically, you 5-1. You 5-1 in your last 6. You got 4 games left to close. Whoa, happy holidays, bro. Happy holidays. Last night exposed our lack of rebounding and 3-point shooting. I agree, but the problem with last night is again, you on the second night of a back to back. I think they 3 games and 4 nights. No Herb Jones, no Jordan Poole. They already are limited from a roster standpoint, right? Z still coming off the bench right now, and then you eliminate some of the offensive creativity with Jordan Poole, regardless of how you think Poole is playing. In since he's been back, right? Had they before last night, had they lost since he's been back? I'm not sure. I can't recall. I don't think they have. But with Jordan Poole out and then Herb Jones missing as well, like you already limited with the depth that you have on the team. So it just kind of put them in a bad situation again on the second night of a back to back. But the good thing I take away from it, they looked a little, they fought the good fight, but they looked a little exhausted to me. And to be honest, like, did you really, even if everybody would have played, you probably would have picked them to lose that game to Cleveland anyway. But I'm the thing I took away from the game was Z played his first back to back. Like that's really what it boiled down to. Played his first back to back, played some minutes. And you saw some things that you might need to work on and clean up, but that stuff you kind of already know. Whoa, what's good, bro? So like realistically, going into that game, you kind of I don't want to say when you stole whoa, what's good, Jaden? When you stole the Rockets game, right? It kind of gave you a not a you want to lose any game, right? But at the same time, like you kind of didn't think you would win both of those, but so since you took one of them, you know what I mean? It just takes the sting out of losing, to be honest, especially when they just played, flew out and had to do all of that. It's holiday time and whatnot. So is I mean a lot of people calling it a scheduled loss. The main takeaway though, like I said, is Z actually played in the back to back. So does that mean he playing back to backs moving forward? If that's the case, that's a good sign. Like that's something to be optimistic about. You know what I mean? And they had times where like they cut into the lead against Cleveland. They just couldn't get over the hump. They didn't have enough bodies, and like shout out to y'all was talking about the lack of rebounding and the 3-point shooting. That's absolutely a fact, right? But again, when you already shorthanded, it was going to expose that a little bit more. So I'm not I'm not taking too much away from last night. Nothing different than what or at least what I already thought the team needed. You know what I mean? I do think they need I personally would like to see them get a true five, right? Like man, I've been talking about or I think they just need another big that they could play next to Queen, somebody who helps with rebounding and stuff. It'd be nice to go find a stretch five or something like that if they're out there somewhere, but they have to figure out a way to address some of that. Like they said, the 3-point shooting and the rebounding, or you got to dominate the paint. And we've been missing way too many. And this kind of been all season. They've been missing way too many like easy layups at the rim and stuff like that. So they just got some things they need to clean up. But regarding like the game itself, is like I kind of took yesterday's game with a grain of salt. And even though they've been winning games, I personally have not like until they show more consistency, right? And they have been playing okay. But again, other than the Rockets game, I kind of feel like they've been doing what they're supposed to and beat some bad teams. You beat Indiana, that's a bad team. You beat Chicago, that's a bad team. You beat Dallas, which is they kind of trying to turn it around. Now you did beat them with AD, but that's not really a great team. But I don't care how you get the wins, you just got to get the wins regardless. The win over the Rockets was a real quality win, especially for us. But like, however you get them, you get them. So going to Cleveland and playing, it's okay for them to lose that game. One, Herb Jones is not playing. The defense is so bad. The defense is bad when he is not there. Shit, the defense sometimes bad when he is there. So like that's absolutely a thing. Like Derek Queen's not a great defender. Fierce is not a great defender. Trey still not a great defender. Z not a great defender. Like the whole team is not really great defenders. So when Herb is missing, absolutely it makes a difference defensively. Like for this team to win and or at least have a chance of winning, you need all hands on deck. And that's kind of what they're showing you. Like they have potential and they can do some things, but if you take out, one or two of the key players, and everybody is important, to be honest, like you're starting 5 plus your top 3 off the bench, however you want roll them. You need all 8 to really have opportunities to compete in most of these games. So like with Herb Jones being out, yeah, that's absolutely gonna be a problem. Whoa, what's good, Kurt? We just won 5 in a row. Can they do it again? That's the big thing there. And look, do they have to win 5 in a row? You love for them to win 5 in a row, but they do have to, like, in order for them to get to the 10 seed, and the 10 seed really not that far away, man. I think the 10 seed is what, 13 wins right now. You at 8. Something like that. So you 5 games behind, but you really could make that up. But you got to do it in the way you've been, like in the way you just kind of did it, right? Like out of the last 6, you won 5, and that's not. I'm not saying that that's not realistic, right? But at the same time, they're going to have stretches where sometimes you got to steal a game. So kind of with that going into like the last 4 games, you got 2 against the Suns. You got the Knicks. All 3 of those are at home, and then you go on the road against the Bulls. It would be amazing to go 3-1, and like if you could get all 4, that's awesome. Because if you get all 4, you talking about 9-1 in your last 10, right? That sounds a lot better than even if you go 3-1, you talking about 8-2 in your last 10. And in them last 4 games to end the year are very winnable. So that's kind of how I want to like frame like what we seeing right now. That's why the title episode is kind of like the Pels going into 2026. If you with the season that they've had and the adjustments that they made, losing the game to Cleveland, like, yeah, you want to get every win, don't get me wrong, but you're not gonna win every game. Like that's just not the way it works. Scheduling, people going down, like it's just. And again, this is not, you just seen OKC lose 2 times to the Spurs and stuff like that. So like everybody loses, good teams lose, stuff like that. So bad teams definitely gonna lose. But if you can somehow start to maximize on some of these games that you have to win. Like, you should be able to win both games at home. You got to at least get one of these games out of the Suns, if not both of them. Like, you really want to, you want to put yourself in a good position. You need to get both of those. If you get both of those, then you got the toss-up game with the Knicks at home. You don't know what the Knicks going to do getting ready to go into the end of the season, but they probably play it tough, but we'll see. And then you finish the year with Chicago on the road. You'll probably be able to do something with that one. Let me see. Let's go through some of these. Is Borrego going to actually play another big? He seems hell bent on not putting another big out there with Queen. I don't know necessarily if he's going to play another big. What I think he's doing is I think he wanted to see. I think he was kind of torn between how to play and who to play between Missy and Carlo, right? But what I think the plan is Carlo had never really got an extended run, and I think Carlo, while his skill set is different, but JB's an offensive guy, and Carlo also brings like some defensive energy. So I think his plan was, okay, I'm gonna just give Carlo an extended opportunity at minutes right now, just to kind of see what it looks like, right? You ain't got to worry about, and to be honest, you got the luxury of doing that in this season. So, like, you ain't got to be going back and forth with playing Missy, not playing Missy. Like, yeah, you want to see, but again, Carlo was impacting some of the games, recently when they were winning. Carlo played the whole fourth against Chicago, like, and some of the games, he was absolutely making a difference. So instead of waiting to play him, I think he just decided, hey, I'm gonna just lean into playing Carlo, instead of going between both. I'm gonna play Carlo extended minutes and just see how it looks. And then if I need to bring in Missy, I could do it. Like, so I don't think it's necessarily him not playing another big with Queen. I still think he's experimenting with the lineups to a degree, but also not having Herb and then not having Jordan Poole kind of makes a difference when you're just trying to figure out what it is you putting out there. So regarding and also that's kind of why I just wish they not necessarily consolidate, but if you can, Five said this before on one of the shows, man, but like, I think Missy, Carlo, Looney, Jordan, all of those dudes, like, they're not that they can't play, but it's not like it's a solidified five, you know what I mean? Like, they can help you, but at the same time, it's not like they're throwing somebody out there that you just like, oh, this guy's gonna really make a difference. This guy's, like, not to go out on, like, it's not like it's Isaiah Stewart or something like that. Like, and I didn't want to say Jalen Duren because obviously that's an all-star level player right now. But even a Jared Allen, and I'm not even after watching Jared Allen last night, I don't want no parts of Jared Allen, to be honest. But it's not even Jared Allen level. You know what I mean? Where you just know what you're getting. So, like, whether you play him or not is cool, but it'd be nice, I think, for them to have somebody that they could just put at the five and start like solidifying some of the rotation or solidifying some of these pieces to minimize some of the things that they have to look for. That's just me. I do love Z commitment right now. Playing the back-to-back was huge for his confidence. I agree. And again, man, the back-to-back after, and he looked like he played hard. You know what I mean? Like, they went out there and they tried, but I think they were winded. You didn't have all your horses. So, like, and the Cavaliers, regardless of what their record are, they're still a good team, a talented team. And they're fighting for wins, trying to get themselves together too. So they wasn't gonna come out and, like, mess around with the Pels and stuff like that. If they were healthy and then had that back to back, I think they would have had a better chance, obviously, of winning that game. But just for Z to get out there playing and stuff like that, I think that was a really good sign. I think they go 3-1 to end the year going into 2026. Again, man, I'm not predicting them to have any win, right? I just can't predict them to get any win because you just never know sometimes how the team is going to show up. The one thing I will say is they have been playing a little more consistently, but the only issue that I have is is like from game to game, you just don't know how they're going to look. Like sometimes they get off to the fast start, sometimes they have the slow start. Sometimes, they and basketball is a game of runs. I get it. But there still isn't really thing that, in my opinion, there isn't really thing that like where I can depend on and say they're definitely gonna do this or they're definitely gonna do that. Like I don't feel like that. I just think they playing with pace, they moving the ball, they're still trying to establish some of the basics. And because they have some talent and they're cleaning up some stuff, they're able to win games. But like I'm not like, and they have been doing a great job of like dominating the paint and stuff like that. So if that's something that we could lean on, absolutely. But again, man, like when you're playing rookies and then Z coming off the bench and then your players are still in and out, it's just really hard to predict what it is they're gonna do from game to game to game, especially depending on how the team that they play against them. Like the Suns, when man Dylan Brooks, shout out to him, has that team playing extremely physical, right? And we typically struggle against those kinds of teams, even though we have historically, recently, well, I don't even want to say that because Devin Booker had been giving us like 50 like crazy. But the last time we played the Suns, it wasn't good. But before that, you know what I mean? We've been back and forth with the Suns. It was almost like a little mini rivalry. So it's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what happened when they play the Suns in this home and home stand coming up. Like you gotta get at least one of those, if not both of those, in order for the 3-1 to happen. Instead of us shuck the Cavs and the Cavs shuck us. Hey, I mean, that's how it happens sometimes. How do you think the Pelicans fans will feel about the game from last night? I don't know, man. I hope people don't overreact. Like, I don't think I think people are more, to be honest, you're disappointed with the loss, but at the same time, I think most people are just kind of like, that's a scheduled loss. You know what I mean? Back to back. Again, your players not hurt. It seemed like if it was some serious, maybe Poole could have played, right? But it's one of the things that was just a real tough situation to not be in, because when the schedule comes out and you start looking down the schedule and stuff, regardless of how the season would have been, you probably would have predicted that one to be a loss. Like again, it was 3 games or 4 nights or something like that. Like that's just a really tough situation, especially when you play, then you gotta fly and then fly to Cleveland and then be ready to go for the game and stuff. So it's just, I don't think anybody's like overreacting. I mean, again, teams lose games. Like it's just something that happens. Saying in reference to getting a true 5, is Borrego going to play that person? I think if they had a true 5, I think he would play that person. Like if he had his kind of guy, I think, or somebody who was like clearly a good player, and I don't want to say clearly a good player, but like I think if he had somebody who was like, he's playing like, let's look at it this way. If he had a 5 that was at least Sadiq Bey level, right? I think he would play that 5 consistently. And I think it would actually help him with his rotations, because I don't think he wants to just constantly mix and match. I think he wants to. And it's not saying that you can't do that, because the problem is he hadn't had much time. So where you still kind of figuring out on the fly, like who to play, how to play them, and then players are still in and out. So it's really a tough situation. But do I think if he had a 5 that he would do it? Absolutely. What do you think been going on with Jeremiah Fears over the last 4 to 5 games, because he's been very bad? I think a little bit of the rookie wall. I mean, they already done played how many games? Whoa, what up, Jess? How you doing? Appreciate y'all. How many games have they played so far? Almost 30? Almost 30 games. What's our record? 8-23, 8-24, something like that. So almost 30 some games. I mean, you almost threw a full college season, right? They had the training camp and stuff like that. I just think the level of competition is higher every night. like the travel is different. He's still, I mean, he's still a rookie at the end of the day. But this is also why I think he was better suited to be coming off the bench. Because I still always thought, like, early in like Jeremiah Fears' development in his game, like he's still a scorer first, right? And in order to play in that starting lineup, I think the starting lineup, while we do need him to score some, I think his like mindset should have been play make first, like look to play make first and do your scoring second, right? But I just think he's struggling with that right now, especially as more people come back and starting to find a rhythm. You know, JB's talking about wanting to play fast and get in transition and push the pace and stuff. And so he has moments where he's just a little out of control. Probably not as comfortable like with his, not, I don't want to say with his game, but sometimes you just have a bad stretch, or you struggle from time to time. So I'm not like overly concerned, because again, he is a rookie, and you've seen the flashes and stuff like that. And even in some of his bad games, he's had some moments where like he's been really good. Like he in the Dallas game, he was real energetic and active defensively and stuff like that, trying, just hustle plays, and you got to continue to do that no matter what's going on. But what I'm hoping for is they could just find the balance between having him play fast and being under control. Like it's mentality for me, and that's also one of the problems I have. I don't think they have any hierarchy still. Like when you're on the floor, like how I view it as, okay, Queen touched the ball and we're playmaking through Queen. The first option, like the first scoring option, needs to be look for Zion, look for Trey, and then anything else after that, like is how that should go. Like Z, Trey, everybody else like secondary, or third, tertiary, however you want to look at it. But I think until you start really establishing that, again, man, you see these players like still somewhat like looking each other off, and like just little minor things that'll be really frustrating. And because Fears is not, like, he's missing some of his layups, I know that's got to be frustrating. You know what I mean? And he's probably just pressing a little bit. So I don't make too much of it, but again, because he is a rookie, he has been playing, really well all season. I still personally think he would be served better coming off the bench, because you still need that push. You would have him against second units, and then he'll still be like, his matchups won't be so like, he's gonna have tough matchups regardless. But playing against starting lineups when they're game planning and all of that, like, is scripted. It's scripted the first parts of the game. Like, I think that helps to a degree, but at the same time, I also think it makes it a little tougher for him. But I'm not like overly worried or whatever. And I think you do what JB been doing sometimes. I think like if he gets a little out of control, you just sit him down for a little bit. The problem is like with last night, is when he's not playing well and then Jose's not playing well, you don't have Jordan Poole to go to. And like with Murray not being there, you don't have Murray to go to. Like, you don't have another like guard that you trust to put in that can run the point guard position and do some of the things that they need them to do. But as far as Fears go, man, I'm again, I still think for both of the rookies, it's been a great year so far. And you expect the ups and downs, especially with like a small guard and point guard and stuff like that. Like, you expect, like, even some of the better guards in the league, some of the best guards still have like streaks and stuff where they struggle and don't play well. So it's just, I think it's just like getting his decision making together And I still think he should be looking to play make first and then let that open up his offense. Like if I thought he was a really good passer coming into the league and coming into the draft and stuff like that. So if he leaned more on his passing and setting people up and creating, then I think his scoring will come easier. But when you just out there trying to get your buckets, like, all right, the teams know that's what you're trying to do. Like, it's gonna make it a little easier for them to defend you. It's supposed to be playing Zion when the point guard is struggling, but Zion hasn't improved. I don't think they really honestly, I haven't really seen them run none of the point Zion stuff. I think they're trying to get away from point Zion, to be honest. So I don't know if it's necessarily Zion or like this part of the Zion hasn't improved thing has much to do with them not running the point Zion. You haven't really seen Borrego try to lean into that at all. Like you hardly ever see Z unless he gets a rebound or something like that. They don't really run none of the point Z stuff. You know what I mean? Like normally when you see Z catch the ball, it's like either on the wing or on the block, or they trying to like put him in motion and stuff like that. They are like he's like spaced out on the corner. So they haven't really run much of the point Z stuff to where I could even say, at least I haven't, like watching the games, I don't think they just kind of like, all right, we're gonna run point Zion. Like I don't think they like leaned into that. And it could be one, he's like just coming back and like hadn't really got into his rhythm and stuff yet. But it just don't look like that's gonna be part of JB's offense. Like it just don't seem like that's something that he wants to lean on and be like, all right, Z, you got it. Everybody kind of get out the way, or set him up at the top and just be like, all right, everybody, watch Z do his thing. That don't really seem like what Borrego is trying to do. Whoa, what's good, bro? So with that being said, with the next 4 games to close the year, right? You got the 2 against the Suns, the Knicks, and then Chicago. Realistically, if you can keep the energy that they had, like now that they're back, when do they play again? What do they play? The day after Christmas? So Friday, I think they play Friday and Sunday. Because I know it's not a back-to-back. I think they play Friday and Sunday, right? You got a couple days off. I'm not sure if they play Friday and Sunday. I don't know if we don't know about Herb with the ankle just yet. Maybe they gave Herb the day off and Poole the day off. You know what I mean? Just day of rest, kind of get them back kind of ready to go. At some point, some of these games, man, like, and I know we don't want to think about it this way, but some of these games you kind of got a punt on, to be honest. So like, would it have been nice to get that win? Yeah, but like sitting Poole and then maybe sitting Herb, letting them get them extra days of rest so you could come back and have a better opportunity to play the Suns team and maybe get both of those games at home, I think makes sense. So like when they got these next 2 coming up, if we see the team that was more like the teams that we saw in the second half against Houston, the full, like most of the game against Indiana, even though they had stretches in that one, like I think you'll have an opportunity to win these games. And again, man, if you could go into the new year on a 9-1 out of your last 10 or 8-2 out of your last 10, it's really doable. Chicago is beatable. You've already established that. The Knicks, while the Knicks play well, you could beat the Knicks. You know what I mean? That's probably gonna be your toughest one. The toughest game that you're gonna have. And the Suns smacked you last time you played. So realistically, you should have it on your mind to come back against the Suns and get one, if not both of those wins. It's supposed to be point Zion when the guy Zion and improve. I already did that one. They can't run it because it's handle and pass and hasn't evolved. I don't know, man, because again, like the last time, and I think part of it is Z still getting his game together, getting his rhythm together. Like, bro, last year, and I know it's last year, right? But last year, though, Z was when he came back from injury, like the dude was averaging 26, 7, and 5. Like, so I don't know, man. Like, I just would like to see him once he gets more comfortable. Again, remember, new offense, new players, new everything. These dudes ain't really been playing many games because they've been injured, right? I I would like to give it more time and then see exactly what it is they look like, because even with his game being limited, though, the dude still night like like what he was against Indy 24-9. Last night he still had 20 something. Like, dog, like he's a good basketball player. Even with the limitations, people might not like how it looked, but he's still a really good player. Good to see Zion in back to back playing back to backs. Absolutely. That's the again, man. I think that was the most important thing, is seeing Z in the back to back playing and not look you know what I mean, like not look tender or afraid or anything like that. Like, no, just went out and played. They lost, but like he was out there. If we get a good rebounder, rim protection, and some shooting, I think we have a good team. I think the bones for a good team is there for sure. Like, you got some pieces, right? We kind of wish they would have had James Borrego from the beginning, so you don't have to go through some of the learning process that they gotta go through right now. But I mean, it is what it is. That's the cards you were dealt. So you just kind of, you got to do whatever it is you got to do. But that's why I'm big on, like, bro, I want them to have a player like Khalil Webb. Like, I want them to have a player like Khalil Webb. Like, I think that type of player is like the fives of the future. You know what I mean? I think he would help. Like, he would help maximize Queen's game. I think he would help maximize Zion's. I just think players like this, like adding Chet to the team, man. Like a five that could defend, run, shoot, do all. Like, I just think you need that type of player. I just personally do it. Friday, Saturday, back to back, bet. So the Friday, Saturday, back to back is interesting, because I wonder if they're gonna punt one of the games. Like, I wonder if they're gonna punt one of the games, or like, are you going in there, because you really can't afford to like punt games. But I mean, I'm interested to see how they go about playing those games. Whoa, what's good? We appreciate you. Happy holidays to y'all too, man. Happy holidays to everybody. You know what I mean? It's this Christmas Eve. Appreciate y'all tapping in. You know what I mean? I know the holiday time be busy as hell, man. Everybody be working, trying to finish the year strong. You know what I mean? So shout out to y'all, everybody. Monday versus Nick. So you play Friday, Saturday, off Sunday, back Monday. So again, that's another 3 games in 4 nights. Another 3 games in 4 nights. Like, do you try, like, how do you go about that, right? How you go about that? You try to win. So you have Wednesday, Thursday off, 2 days off, and then you go Friday, Saturday off, Monday, play Sunday, and then you got 2 days off, and then you got the Bulls. So at least you at home for the 3 and 4 nights. Whoa, what's good? Appreciate you for tapping in. Zion is an elite talent. His skill set is incredibly limited. Skill set is based purely on your work in the gym. He ain't did that. I'm not arguing with that, but at the same time, like, dog, like when, like, he's still effective. Like like he's still effective at the end of the day. Like, we could be somewhat upset about, again, we could be upset about how it looks, but he's still 20, 25, 7 and 5, like, type numbers, like when he on the court. And again, you got to remember, and it's nobody's fault but his own. Nobody's fault but his own. But he's still only playing 25 minutes a game. Like 25 minutes a game, not closing and stuff like that. Like, if they say that they have a plan for him, right? They say that they have a plan for him. So if the plan keeps him healthy, right, and allows him to play to the part where he gets past the minutes restriction, right? Let's say he could get past the minutes restriction. Because one of the big things that's happening right now as well is you winning these games, but you winning these games with like Z and Poole not playing over 30 minutes a game, right? And I don't know how people feel whether that's good or bad, but if I got 230, a 30 and a $40 million player, now I need to be able to get 34, 35 minutes consistently, right? But if you give Z 10 more minutes a game, dog, that's like 30 and 8 type numbers, right? So even with the limitations and all of that, we looking at Z playing 25 minutes, going 24 and 9 and 25 and 6 and stuff like that, and be like, oh, his game limited. But it's like, dog, if you play Z with the way they've been playing, once he start getting himself together, get more acclimated, they get more chemistry, 30 minutes a game, 34 minutes. Dog, look in the beginning of the season when he was playing, like before the injury in the beginning of the season, right? What was his numbers? He was like 29, 9, and 6, right? 27, 8, and 8 type numbers with the limited skill set. And dog, remember the dunk on Wemby, the game winner, like, bro, like the dude, again, we might not like how it looked, but the dude is extremely effective. He's still he's still clearly the best player on the team. So that's just all I'm saying, bro. Like he's still a great player. Like even with the limitations, though, like he's still a beast. So that's just kind of what it is. Ware's got to be the funniest in the funniest situation in NBA history. He is, right? Like I don't know what's going on with Miami and Khalil Webb, but I know I'm making the call. It seemed like Spo just don't like him, or like maybe he got a bad attitude, or like maybe they feel like he don't work hard. But it's just kind of like, bro, like I don't know what's going on with Khalil Webb, but if I'm the Pelicans, that's the player that I'm targeting, because if you see him against other players like him, against like the Wembys and the Chets and like those players that I think you need, he's like super effective, super dominant. And you imagine him with DQ and then like and James Borrego and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to get that player. I'm trying to get that player, and we figure it out. You don't have any choice but to punch some games. Absolutely. And that's the thing with starting off as bad as they started off. You really don't have no choice but to like try and play it safe to a degree and like put yourself in the best situation to win games, and just hopefully you can steal some. Like the way the NBA work, man, is like you'll like bad teams beat good teams all the time. It might not be often, but bad teams beat good teams. So if you can win the games that you're supposed to win, right, and steal a game here or there, you find yourself winning 5 in a row. They weren't supposed to win that Rockets game. You stole that game. And then you find yourself, okay, now we got a stretch coming up. We got 2. You got to be good at home. You got to win your home games, right? So if you could get the 2 at home, right? Like if you expect to win at least one of those. If you could be good enough to get both of the games against the Suns at home, now you looking at the Knicks. You looking at the Knicks and be like, all right, maybe we don't play everybody against the Knicks. You punt the Knicks game and then you go all in to win Cleveland. I mean, the Bulls game, which is a very winnable game. So if you were able to do that, right, now you end up 3-1. Now you 8-2. You 8-2 in your last 10 going into the new year, feeling good, or feeling a lot better. Z scoring 26 points in 9 minutes. Dog, that's what I'm saying. Like Z, bruh, we say what we want. Like he just no. And not the way that he does it either. Like you gotta think also, like, and maybe it's part of it's also Z's fault. It's also Z's fault to a degree, but like, dog, Z get everything on his own. Like there's like how, for example, Trey, and even though Trey has improved with like his ball handling and stuff like that, like a lot of Trey's buckets come off like assists. You know what I mean? Like Queen creates, somebody else creates, his lobs, his catch and shoots. And I'm not saying nothing like that to knock Trey, not at all. But if you look at Z, though, a lot of Z buckets come from post ups, ISOs. You know what I mean? I gotta go get the rebound, put it back, stuff like that. Like it's not like Z getting easy buckets out here. And again, I understand that part of this game because yeah, if you shot the three a little bit, or if you shot the midi, yeah. But again, no, if and I think this might sound a little insane. This might sound a little insane, but like if Zion shot the ball, like if Zion shot the ball well or like shot it at all, dog, you could probably argue Z would be like one of the most dominant players. Like he already is since he's been in the league, has been one of the most dominant players in the league. If he shot the ball, it would be like God just don't like I hate to say it, but God just don't bless you with everything, though. Like, and not saying that he can, and I understand he's maybe the God put the mental block in Z to be like, listen, man, don't shoot because this should be too unfair for everybody. I'm slightly joking, but slightly serious to a degree. Because if Z was shooting, like consistently shooting middies and like was able to just shoot 2 or 3 threes a game, though, you talking about a dude like he'd have to stay hurt because you talking about like MVP level performance, like MVP level player, like all like he'd probably be one of the most dominating players like to ever. He already one of the most dominating players to ever play the game. If Z was able to consistently shoot threes, or even just to like consistently shot the midi, like you like the dog, like I don't know, bro. I don't know. I understand all this. I understand. I'm off it. I often narcotic. I get it, but it's real, bro. Zion legitimately been good on defense lately. Two, got to give some flowers for that, bro. He when he's like feeling himself physically, right, and like he said, when I'm feeling like Zion, can't nobody stop me, and he not wrong. Ain't nobody proved they could stop him when he's right. He just don't stay right long, and that's the part that people get more frustrated about. Dog, you gonna get the 20 game stretch. Like there's about to be a point in the season, right, where he's gonna start looking like himself, getting more comfortable, getting into the rhythm, and that dude gonna go on like one of those Zion again, 29, 9 and 8, 32, 8 and 7. You know what I mean? 35. Like the stretch is coming. Like you can see them building up to it, right? You just gotta sustain it. That's the thing. You just gotta sustain it. But I think physically he's in a, I don't want to say he's in a better position, but like if y'all watch the interviews and stuff, bro, this dude out here doing interviews with no shirt on and stuff like that. So he's obviously feeling himself, like physically feel like he's doing the work and he's in shape. And a little more confident, because that's the sign. Any man know, like when you taking pictures and you out publicly with no shirt on and whatnot, you feeling good, right? So he just needs his game to catch up, and the entire team needs their game to catch up. Poole don't look like Poole yet either, and when Poole starts to come around a little bit, these guys haven't been playing together long, haven't been in the system. You got a lot of things that's going on right now, but once it all starts to come together, if they could have enough help, right? Enough help, then we'll see some of the things that we've been talking about. Pels' biggest problem is they playing the numbers game every night due to their lack of shooting. That's absolute. Like I don't know what they could do about that. It seems like the way that they counter it, like you getting outshot every night, but the way they counter is they're trying to dominate you in the paint. But again, like last night, for example, you get outshot by the three, but when you missing easy layups, right? You're not like, you don't dominate the paint by the margins that you typically dominate by. So now when somebody's out shooting you, or you turning the ball over, you're not valuing possessions, that's when you put yourself in a situation where you're gonna get blown out. You already don't have the output because Herb's not there. You don't have the stop, like the defense, because Herb's not there. You don't have the offensive creation. And say what you want about Poole, he's still been getting to the free throw line. He's still been giving you like 15, 16 a game. You know what I mean? Like, and you have somebody when Jeremiah Fears is having like a rough game, or Jose hadn't figured it out yet, you still have a guard that you could play that's still effective and crafty and stuff like that. So like, I think we just got to give it a little more, again, give it more time and not like react game to game. Doing Zion shit with no threes? Absolutely, bro. It's only a matter of time until DQ becomes a star. This man is incredible with the way he plays, and the game is still sick as off the chart. Listen, DQ has found his rhythm, and you see him getting better and better every game, understanding what's going on every game. I think they finally, and he still has moments where like, and again, this is like he's a rookie. He's a rookie, but like he still has moments where he starts off slow and they gotta kind of like not reel him in, but like, you gotta kind of play through it. You know what I mean? But he's such a versatile player and he has size and he has the rebound. He's also a gamer. So when they have like big games, DQ typically steps up. But you can clearly see like DQ has kind of like found his footing to a degree, right? Found his footing in the offense, knows what he's looking for, and you just gotta continue to give him more time. He's been shooting the three a little bit more. At least just get like 1 or 2 attempts up a game. I think he made 2 last night. So it's one of those situations where DQ is improving, right? And who knows what he's gonna look like in another 20 games, right? Like that dude in another 20 games, he's already been effective, but another 20 games under his belt might be not a completely different player, but you know what I mean? Like players, his game can elevate the more he understands, the more they get more comfortable, the more they play consistently. Like I think you'll see DQ take another step. I think all of the players, and how can you word this? Like a lot of these dudes have started the season off in a real disadvantageous situation. One, when you starting off with the coaching situation, that's everybody is already a step behind. That's first. And then like in DQ, since like he had no offseason, nothing like that. So he's still behind most of those players. I think Fears was fast-tracked, right? Fast-tracked because with all the injuries, he had to start early and he didn't get the coaching, in my opinion, from Willie that he probably should have. So I think part of his wall right now is not necessarily regression, but I think it's like a different level of learning right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he had a lot of success and he's in a situation they didn't expect him to be in right away. So I think he's adjusting, but I think he has another level that he can get to based on his talent. Once he understands, he gets better with his decision making. Fears 40 games in, it's going to look a little different. 50 games in is going to look different. Z 50 games. So like, again, it's hard with this team because you don't know how they're going to look, but you can just see that like Trey started off the season slow and then started to turn it around. I'm just interested to see. I'm interested to see like once they start getting more of their rhythm, start getting their legs back, you know what I mean, and get more ideas of like where their shots gonna be coming from and stuff like that. How the team is gonna continue to perform. Also, we got to stop the pool hate from Pels fans, man. I don't know, bro, because as much as people, and he's not playing great right now, right? Like overall, he's not really shooting great, and he also has some decision making issues. Like sometimes he tries to do a little too much, but then sometimes the IQ kicks in and he knows how to get fouled when it's time to get fouled. Like he's hit big shots, he's hitting big free throws. Like at the end of the day, like they were still in games and being able to win games, and Jordan Poole was like very instrumental in a lot of those. Like example, like Jordan Poole had a rough first half. I think it was against Dallas the other night. Had a rough first half, but was big in the fourth quarter. I don't understand how Poole could get all of the criticism for it, but Herb was god awful in the Houston first half, and then people gave Herb all the praise in the world for having a good second half. That type of stuff happens for players all the time. So like, I think we just have to understand, like, unless you playing great the whole game, which again, there's going to be those games, you kind of got to give, I guess you don't have to, but like the dude only been back like not even 10 games. right? Like not even 10 games yet. So like you got to give the players some time to just kind of like get their rhythm, figure out their footing. You know what I mean? Kind of, oh, this is what they're doing. This is where my shots coming from. I can shoot these, make like you just kind of got to get into a rhythm, and that's with anything. I look at it like when you first start working out, right? Like when you decide, when all New Year's coming up, everybody decide we about to go back to the gym or we about to start doing something. Bro, that first month is hell. The first 2 weeks is brutal. You were almost ready to quit them first 2 weeks. If you could push past that, now you in a new place, right? You think Fizz just hit a rookie wall or the slide? I just think it's a rookie wall. Nothing like overly. I just think he just needs to, again, the thing that always been about Fizz is I do think he still gets better from game to game. I think he learns from his mistakes. I just think he needs to correct some of his decision making. Right. And I think he needs to shift the mindset a little bit. And that's something that I hope they have a conversation with. Hopefully Poole get healthy soon so he can get in the rhythm. I think that's why he's struggling. Absolutely. Fears a 19-year-old guard having a completely adjusted game. He will be fine. And that was my thought. I'm like, man, just bring him off the bench. Because if you bring him off the bench, he can play his game. I think if you start Poole can play more of his game. I think Poole at this point in his career is more comfortable starting than coming off the bench. And I think Poole is more able to adjust than Fears is able to adjust. So I think if you play Poole with the starters, it'll allow Poole to play more of his game. And if you play Fears with the bench, it'll allow Fears to just go do his thing. But that's just, maybe we get that at some point. Maybe we don't. Whoa, what's good, bro? Whoever made the Pels schedule hates us. Ain't no way you got a back-to-back traveling across the country to a different time zone. We finna get this back. Yeah, bro. So sometimes again, when you see some of the schedules when they come out, you just like, oh yeah, that's a loss, right? So you just got to figure out how you plan it, and maybe you know what I mean, because Cleveland was on a back-to-back as well, but like they're on a back-to-back at the house. It's different. So maybe you put yourself in a position that was kind of like, all right, maybe they don't play somebody and we could still win. But man, those games are hard to win. First 3 games, Poole started hot, and then Willie was sitting way too long. Then Willie Benjamin Poole ain't been right since. Absolute, bruh. When Poole again as a starter, remember as a starter, bro, he was coming out giving you like 12 to 14 in the first quarter, and then apparently like we didn't know he was injured the whole time doing this, right? Like he said he hadn't been right all season, but he started the season off playing really well, and then those extended stretches of being benched. This is a really good point. Man. He was at that one point, he was the second best player of the game. I mean, second best player on the team. I just think you got to give him some time because you saw at points during the season, like already, even in the limited capacity, the impact that Jordan Poole had. Poole won you that game. Bro, exactly. Like it takes time, bro, for you to like this has been his longest injury in his career, right? He had never missed this much time. So obviously he hadn't missed this much time, probably had to rehab different, probably like, and who knows with all due respect, right? With all due respect, who knows what the Pelicans medical staff has done like with his rehab compared to some of the places that he's probably been before. So like you just, again, a new style because the way they were playing with Willie is completely different than the way that they playing right now. So I just think he's a really good player, and you just got to give him some time. Like it don't just happen overnight. Like when the season started, he was like solidified starter. Like, oh yeah, you my guy, 30 plus minutes a night, right? And right now, Jeremiah Fizz is the starting guard. Like, so just even the responsibilities are different. Like mindset is different. Like what you want me to do when I come in? Do I have the freedom to do some of the things that I initially was able to do? Like all of that stuff plays a part, man. So I think we just kind of got to give it some time and let it play out. Poole lost all his leg strength because of the injury. He'll be back soon. I agree. Since Poole came back from injury, we have won every game except last night when he sat out. Exactly. And that's the biggest thing. You say what you want, but regardless of if he didn't play the fourth quarter or he did or whatever the situation is, when the dude was on the court, he was impactful in a way, right? And in those second halves, even if he had some rough first halves, second halves, he's been really good when they've needed him to be good. And sometimes that's all you can ask for. Like, even like he's not great defensively, but the other night you saw him making plays on the defensive end that helped turn the game, get the energy going. People want to see Poole play. Poole energizes the team, right? Again, man, like the loss last night and some of the performances that are to be expected when players are coming back off injury. And that's another thought I had. Like, yes, Zion coming off the bench right now, but do we know, like, do people know Wemby coming off the bench for the Spurs right now too? So like, we kind of got to give a little bit of grace. A lot of people talking about Zion going to stay on the bench. No, he's not going to stay on the bench long term. I think as he's coming off an injury, right, and they're trying to control his minutes, control his game, still let him be impactful and close, like they've been saying, like, yeah, it's fine. Wemby coming off the bench, ain't nobody asking if Wemby gonna go back to starting at some point. I think they doing it's a similar situation, right? Can we talk about Borrego's timeouts and subs? Dude, so on point. So like the subs, sometimes I question, but I do like his timeout usage. The one thing with the subs, sometimes I question some of the lineups, but at the same time, you only could make subs based off what you have available to you, right? So I like that Borrego is willing to try and like push whatever button you feel like. He's willing to try almost any combination of players. He's willing to try and push any button to do whatever he can to try and get, to try and get the team to be effective. That part I love. And I love his timeout usage, bro. I do love his timeout usage. But I'm not saying I don't want to overly give him credit for that, because that's just what a good coach is supposed to do. I think we've had all these years of just bad coaching and bad details to where the guy's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And like, I'm not saying that he's not a good coach, but like, those are some of the things that you expect from a guy that's coaching an NBA team. When you coaching on this level, that's what you expect. That's kind of the way it goes. Do you think Borrego's interim tag is lifted? I'll be honest, I hope not. Because I don't think he's done enough. I think he looks good. I think he's doing what he's supposed to do. I think you can see the shift. I think he's forming the identity and stuff like that. But like, I'm not lifting the tag during the season. Like, in order for me to lift the tag during the season, though, like, they gotta be like, if they somehow like got a top 6 seed and it like looked like they was gonna get that top 6 seed before the season ended, I absolutely would be like, oh yeah, this your guy. Right? This could be your guy moving forward. But like, no, not right now. Like, he still had like a hella long losing streak. Like, they have looked better. They are forming an identity. It's a lot of good things that's happening right now. But you don't have any reason to remove the interim tag right now. Like, we don't know what the rest of the season gonna look like. Right? Like, we have an idea, but let's hypothetically, if they go on another 9-game losing streak, right? If they go on another 9-game losing streak, would you remove the interim tag then? Like, that's just something to consider, right? If they just how they won 5 in a row, if they rip off another 5 or 6 losses and it looks like possibly coaching mistakes, like, do you remove the interim tag? No. I think you should just give it some time. That's why they gave him the full season. Or it looks like they're giving him the full season. You give him the full season, you let it play out, you give him the freedom to do whatever it is he wants to do. Can you get the players to buy in? Can you create an identity? All of the things that you want to see the players are doing. So it looks like he has a good rapport and good connection with the players and with the team, and they are responding. It looks like they are responding. But what more can you do? Like, is this it? Is this the baseline, or like is there more available? And we need to know the difference between, okay, roster construction and what my coach is capable of, right? What my coach is capable of. So I need to know for sure that, like, before I start going get different types of players and all of that, like, I need to know that I have the guy that, you know what I mean? Like, we believe in his system. We believe that he's a good defensive coach. We believe that he can make adjustments. We believe he can manage the game. And he's showing a lot of that. Don't get me wrong. But again, it's still early. So no, I don't think you remove the tag. Dude tries everything is the point that I would. Yeah, I agree. He absolutely tries everything. He whatever it takes. Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe. Not during the season. Hell no. What coaches you think the Pels should look at in the offseason? I done a couple of episodes on this. But I just, to the quick ones that I threw out there, I don't know how Sam Cassell is gonna look, but I would look at the Timberwolves number 2, Micah Nori. I would look at Sam Cassell if he's available. You obviously look at Mike Malone if he's interested. I look at Tom Thibodeau if he's interested. But like my two things, and I think James Borrego really should have a strong opportunity to win this job. If he continues to produce the way that he is right now, and they continue to look like a team, like if he can get to, if you could get the 30-something wins and it looks a certain type of way, Queen develops, looks away, Fears develops, looks away, you find a way to have, if you decide to keep Zion, but if you find a way to have, let's say they don't make any roster moves, right? And you find a way to maximize your roster with all your best players, even if you win or not necessarily, but your best players look like they play well every game. You know what I mean? Then I think something like that should be considered. Like, he should be considered for the job for sure. I mentioned Dawn Staley before. I don't think Dawn Staley would leave South Carolina, but that'll be dope. What you think about Jerry Stackhouse? I don't know if I hire Stackhouse, but I would imagine that his time in Detroit, he probably got some kind of relationship with Joe Dumars and stuff. But I'll be honest. My criteria for who I want coaching the team is based on what direction the team goes. Like, if the team is more like a we want to win now, right? Like they're not going like a complete youth movement to a degree, then, and again, this is assuming that they don't keep James Borrego. Like, all of this is assuming they don't keep James Borrego. But if you go with a youth movement or like somewhat of a rebuild, give me a young, fresh coach. Like, give me a new coach so he can rebuild it from the ground up and do whatever he needs to do. But if you talking about keeping, hypothetically, you talking about keeping Poole and Z and Herb and all of that and going to acquire more talent to more try and compete now, then give me Tom Thibodeau, Mike Malone, somebody like that. Somebody who can win with like veteran players that don't really do young players and rebuilds and stuff like that. So that's how I would look at it. If you're going with like the rebuild, or we not trying to win for like another year, 2 or 3 or 4, go get the young guy to where when Queen and Fears are getting ready to go into their second contracts, you know what I mean? And you didn't acquire more pieces. They learned the system. They done took their L's and they ready to compete. Like most of the other good teams will be like on their slump. So all you're really going to have is the Spurs. You're going to have the Spurs to deal with, OKC to deal with. The Timberwolves might be there. The Lakers might be there. That might be really the teams that you're looking at in another 3 to 4 years. But other than that, like, if you're trying to go win next year and Borrego don't look like the guy, then I think you need to go get you an experienced coach, somebody who's done it. I personally would take Tom Thibodeau. That would be my guy. I was very mad with the way they played last night, but realized you can't win every game. We did not have JP and Herb last night. It's only one game. We'll get back on track next game. You gotta bounce back against Phoenix or at least split them. Yep. You know what I hope, and we'll get ready to close on this, man. I know it's Christmas Eve. Y'all probably got stuff going on, man, tending to y'all families and, probably running last minute errands and stuff like that. So I appreciate y'all even tapping in with the early morning show, man, like going right into the afternoon. But the thing with Phoenix beat the brakes off you last time you played them, right? When they went to Phoenix beat, what they beat them by almost 30, 40. It was one of the most embarrassing losses of the season. I hope that they have it on their mind back at the house, you know what I mean? Bag in the blender. Oh, y'all dog walked us last time. We need our get back. Both of these, right? Both of these. The last time they had that home and home a couple years ago, that was the Z360 windmill, all of that, like right after playing again. That's years ago. But if you come in with the attitude like, oh yeah, we need our get back, we need both of these, then yeah, you can win those. And again, if you win the two at home, you already kind of up, right? You kind of up with how you can end the year. Because then you would end the season. Let's say you go 2-2 in these last four. So now you're looking at you ending 7-3. Yeah, you be 7-3 in your last 10 games. That's not bad. So out of this stretch, I think out of the 4 games, you got to win at least 2. It would be amazing if you won 4. That's unlikely, right? 3-1 would be 3-1 is doable. 2-2 is a must. 2-2 is a must. 3-1 is doable. 4-0 is unlikely. But if you somehow got to 4-0, you go into next year feeling real comfortable with where you at going into the new year. You know what I mean? And then you got a tough stretch going right into the new year. Rockets, Pistons, Grizzlies, Spurs, Thunder. No. I'm sorry. You start the new year with the Trailblazers, Heat, Lakers, Hawks. So you need to do well in these games coming up. And you need to do well against West opponents. When you play this Phoenix team, right? You need to be on your shit and make sure you show up and show out. And if you could finish the season, the crowd already showed you that they're gonna show up for you if you look like a team. Come out in Phoenix and handle your business, and watch how when the new year hit, people come out and support this team. So, man, the Phoenix, absolutely, them games used to be incredible, bro. I used to, man. Listen, I'm in the blender for all of those. I done seen book for them 50 pieces and whatnot, bro. You never know what to expect out of some of the Phoenix games, but they're intense, they physical. It's somewhat of a rivalry somehow. You know what I mean? Like, and that's cool, But sometimes you like to win some of them games that feel like that. But man, that's gonna do it for me for today. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I mean? I am not sure because tomorrow is obviously Christmas, and then I got working, so I'm not sure when I will be back with y'all. I know for sure we're gonna get something done before the new year. Probably Saturday for the game. We'll have another episode. So I'll catch y'all over the weekend, man. Appreciate it. Y'all be safe out there. Please don't get in no trouble on no Christmas, man. Y'all go out there and enjoy y'all families, enjoy y'all kids, enjoy y'all loved ones. Be safe. For Pels in the Blender, I'm A. Davis. Y'all take care. I'm out. Peace.